Got Greg Straw in the studio, owner of Earth Architectural Landscapes and Earth Outdoor Living Nursery. I know they do a lot of work, these guys. They've done a lot of work for John Perman with Streamfields. Now, Greg designed and is currently creating the Nelson Mandela Memorial Garden in Kurnool. First of all, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you very much for
having me. I know you're a busy man and you were stuck in traffic. You're designing and you're currently creating that memorial garden. What are the challenges of such a project?
Well, you can imagine, it's not a small garden. When I designed the garden, it's 12.3 hectares. It's got a perimeter fence of just over 2 kilometers. And inside the garden, the main feature of the garden, let's say, apart from obviously the burial site, is I've created and I designed a pathway that takes you through the life and times of Madiba. And this pathway is 1.2 kilometers long.
Amazing.
So to pay your respects, and in order for you to walk through the garden, you walk through his life and time, which traverses a hill, goes underground, goes through a quarry, around a dam, and does. So it's a journey. It's not one of those. Well, when I say one of those, obviously when I was doing my research on this 7 years ago, when I started researching, and the family appointed me as the landscape architect, we looked at the unknown soldier, we looked at JFK, we looked at Gandhi, we looked at late Princess Diana's gardens, and I wanted to do something very different. You know, the garden is in Puno, which is 1,121 km from Joburg, and even more from Cape Town. And if somebody's going to come to South Africa and pay their respects, I don't want them walking down an avenue and placing a rose at a statue. I wanted to create a journey and tell the story of Madiba along a pathway.
Is this your biggest challenge ever, Greg?
I do hotels on islands and remote game reserves, and
right.
I do all sorts of things all over the world.
But excitingness.
No, this has been by far the most amount of research I've ever had to do, because obviously you could imagine the cultural aspect,
yes,
religious, the family, the life and times, political. There was some fun and games, you could imagine.
Yeah.
And with all the goings on and what we've had to go through in the last 7 years. So, the research that's gone into that, but the support that I've had from the family was quite astounding.
Speaking to you, Greg Straw, owner of Earth Architectural Landscape and Earth Outdoor Living Nursery. The time period that we are looking at here, Greg?
Well, obviously what happened was I got given a brief, and then I got onto site once I was appointed. And I started creating the garden, but I was only creating the foundations for the garden, because out of respect, you can't go and get something ready for somebody that's still around. That's just wrong. So what we had to do was get the basic framework so that the garden would be ready for the event. Thereafter, we have now started looking into the beautification. So the burial site we got ready and out of the way, but the rest of it we had to leave alone, because out of respect, and I dealt with the old man a couple of times.
Yeah.
We sat together. It was quite strange doing something for somebody of that nature.
How important is this garden going to be to the country, Greg?
Sure. Well, I think if you look at the amount of visits that Robben Island get, if you have a look at the visits that museum, the capture site, this is quite something different.
It'll be one of those.
It'll be in that neck of the woods. Yeah.
No, that is fantastic. When can we look forward to it being finished, Greg?
Well, we're going through all the planning phases now. So you could imagine a 12.3 hectare garden on top of a hill on their private property.
And you bring stuff from everywhere.
No, what I've actually did was, thank goodness to Dr. Maki Mandela, she spearheaded this, and she organized me a piece of land on Madiba's farm, and I built my own nursery there. And I've got my offices, and we've had a nursery, and what we've done is over the last couple of years, we've been quietly undercover, because you could imagine everybody was trying to find out what was going on.
Yes.
We had people standing on roofs taking photographs of us, and we were just telling them that we were beautifying the farm. Meanwhile, we were doing this. So what I've done in the last couple of years is I've quietly plant material from all over the Transkei. And most importantly, I collected most of my plant material in Mvezo, because everything with this garden, and when it is opened, you'll see everything has a meaning. Madiba was born in Mvezo. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to take plants and the landscape of Mvezo and recreate it in Kono, where he was laid to rest.
I tell you what, I could have another 10 minutes here with Greg, but time is our enemy. Listen, Greg, congratulations, and we look forward to joining you on this journey. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, Greg Straw, everybody.